welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Come on in, stick around, join us and hit subscribe down below to do so. Welcome back to the Healing Diaries. Today's Healing Diary entry, shall we call it, is about navigating hard times in life. And I thought this would be a good pivot point, a good next topic, because it's a topic that everyone can relate to, and that's really what I wanted the next kind of thing to be about. Something that everyone can take something from. Hopefully you take something from this video. Please let me know down below if you do. So if I'm looking down here, I'm referring to just a little bit of notes, but this is just general chit chat. So grab your drink, snacks, get cozy, and let's chat. So hard times, we're all gonna have them. That's, you know, if you're coming here thinking I'm gonna give you some miracle answer to never have hard times again, click off the video, because this is not it. But what I do hope we can kind of talk through is, you know, the actual reality of a hard time and how we can do like little things to maybe make ourselves feel better, because they're going to come regardless of whether you want them or not. They are going to come. They are part of life. It's part of the duality of life, the good and the bad, the light and the dark, the ebb and the flow. Everything has a dual effect, and we wouldn't really appreciate the good times and the high times without the hard times. It's only really because of the hard times that when you're having a great time, you can be like, oh my God, remember when? I'm so glad I'm not there. Like, thank God. Like, you know, and you can really sit back and enjoy when life is good. So yeah, the first thing I want to say is, following on from that, if you're in a hard time right now, whether it's you've lost your job, you're just not where you want to be in life, or things just aren't working out for you, your mental health, you're struggling, whatever it may be, this too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporary. And that's something that on my hard days, because sometimes it's not a phase, sometimes it's not a hard phase, sometimes it's just a hard day or a hard hour or even a hard 5 minutes. Like, you know, it's not gonna last forever. Like, good always follows. Like, even if you're having a bad day, there'll be a moment where you'll have a relief. You'll make a cup of tea, or you'll laugh, or there'll be a song you listen to. There'll be a moment of relief, and that is life. Life's constantly going like this, and it will pass. So I just want to say, like, whatever you're dealing with, whatever it is, everything in this life is temporary. Every single thing is temporary. And that's just something to hold on to, like a little phrase to hold on to kind of help you stick with it and stick with things when you just feel like, I cannot do this anymore. This too shall pass. And perspective is so important. How you look at things is so important. And the reason I say this, especially in hard times, is when life gets hard and life gets like tricky and complicated and challenging, our mindset is the first thing to go, isn't it? It's the first thing to start being like, this is awful. You're doing this sorry, you're not doing this, but this is happening because you're not good enough, or this is happening because you're unworthy. Your mindset is the first thing to start beating you up. And that is why power of perspective is so important. I'm going to give you an example. You get two people, both work as, I don't know, where do they work? Both work as hairstylists, and both work for a high-end company. It doesn't matter. They're both hairstylists. It's a Monday, it's 8 a.m. Their manager calls them into the office, both of them at the same time. They both get fired. Hairstylist A goes home, calls everybody they know, tells them the story about how they were just going into work and they got fired and they just don't know what they're going to do and everything's so awful. And they sit in their bed for weeks on end and they cry and they mope and they scream, and people say, well, why don't you try this and why don't you try that? They said, no, that's it, it's over for me, my career is over. And then you have hairstylist B. Hairstylist B does the same thing, goes home, calls everyone they know, said, I've been fired, sits in bed, mopes for a little bit, and then says, do you know what? Actually, maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe I can take this opportunity of having free time now I don't have a job to go and try my own business, or to go for even better salons that I've wanted to work in for a long time, or maybe I could go back and train and learn how to do another skill so I could open up my own salon. Perspective is everything. You are either, there's no black and white here, You are either hairstylist A or you're hairstylist B. A lot of people in hard times and just in life are committed to their story. They're committed to their victim story of, woe is me, everything's so hard for me, and everything is very difficult. And for a lot of people, this is going to be very hard to swallow. So I don't say this to offend. I really, really don't. I say it because you have the power to change your mind. A lot of things outside of you cannot control. Illnesses, you can't control. If your boss fires you, you can't control it. If someone breaks up with you, you can't control it. But do you know what you can control? Your perspective. And that's why it's so powerful. You will just look at life. There will be so many people you'll see, just sit back and observe, who are going through the same two things, and they will handle it completely differently. And how they handle it determines their outcome. There's a famous equation: event plus reaction equals outcome. The event, they got fired. Their reaction, they either sat with it, felt sorry for themselves, didn't do anything about it, committed to that story that they are the victim, or they committed to the story that this is an opportunity, they went and did something, and that resulted in the outcome. Event plus reaction always equals outcome. So your perspective in a hard time is everything. Your mindset is everything. And so when life starts crumbling around you, let it. There's nothing you can do. For a lot of these situations, there's nothing you can do. And a lot of people hearing that will panic, and they'll be like, what do you mean there's nothing I can do? Oh my God, I'm going to lose control. Yes, because what you're going to do is you're going to pull back your energy from what you cannot control, and you're going to focus on what you can control. The only thing you can control in this life is you. You can't control anything else. You can't control if your boss is going to fire you. You can't control if people are going to buy from your business. You can't control anything. But what you can control is your mental health, your perspective, your mindset. And I'm not saying it like it's a walk in the park. It's not. It takes practice, it takes dedication, it takes consistency. But you can do it. And so I say to you, if you are sitting in a hard time right now, what is your perspective on this situation? And if it's not working for you, and it's woe is me, and it's everything's so hard for me, and I've been trying this and I've been trying that, and it's not working, I'm going to need you to sit back and take a shift. I'm going to need you to pivot, because challenges are often, not always, like I said, illness and things like that we can't control. And I don't want to say things like that are blessings in disguises. I'm not trying to brush off really challenging times, but things like losing your job, not having enough money, going for a breakup, they're opportunities to rise. So you either stay in the woe is me, or you take that opportunity and you make something of it. Some people will sit and say, well, I wouldn't choose to be a victim. Like, this happened to me. I'm not choosing this. This is what's happened to me. Like I said, we've just proved that's not true. Because yes, something might be happening to you which is completely out of your control. Fact. But how you react to it is within your control. Fact. So we've just looked at that with hairstylist A and hairstylist B. And people might say, well, why would I pick that? Why would I pick to be hairstylist A? I'm not picking it. It's just my reaction. I can't control it. We've just proved that that's not true. So if you're having inner chatter coming on there, that's something you need to work on, because it's not true. You can choose how you react. And I'm not saying don't process how you feel, and don't sit in it and say this is rubbish and this is the word, but you can change how you look at it. You can acknowledge that this is not a great situation and still change what you do with that situation. And why do people choose to stay as hairstylist A anyway? Because it's safe. Because it's safe. A lot of what we do as humans, we do out of comfort, habit, familiarity and safety. That's why people stay in jobs they hate for years. That's why people stay in relationships that aren't good for them for 17 years. That's why, like, I'm talking to you from experience. That's why people stay in places and spaces that they've outgrown for years and years and years, because it feels safe and it feels familiar. And that is why people commit to their sob story and commit to the victim story and commit to being hairstylist A because it's safe. Because if I keep telling myself that I don't have any control over this, like I can't do anything about this, I lost my job. It all happened to me. And I don't have any power to change it. And if I keep telling myself that, then guess what? I don't have any power to change it. That's how powerful your words are, by the way, and your mindset is. If you tell yourself that, then it's true. And then you don't have to change it. And you can stay in your little comfortable bubble and everything stays the same. But if you tell yourself, okay, this happened and that was out of my control, but I can change it and I can do whatever. That opens up a whole possibility, a whole world of possibility that might scare you. And so it's easier to be hairstylist A and to say, this happened to me, woe is me, can't do anything about it, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. But always when you do that, there'll always be a little niggling feeling like, you know, you're sabotaging yourself. You know you're standing in your own way. You know you're bullshitting yourself. Like, you know you're doing it. So this is why you have to really be conscious and self-aware and have discernment. But just look how powerful you are. Whatever you tell yourself is true. If you tell yourself, yeah, this is it for me, then that's it. But if you tell yourself, actually, I can change this, do you just feel the energy difference in those two things? It's crazy. And just to follow, you break down to break through. There is no breakthrough without the breakdown. How are you going to have a breakthrough without a breakdown? You can't. The breakthrough always follows the breakdown. The glow up always follows the low up. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And how are you going to have the testimony without the test? These things are sent to try us. All these sayings, they exist for a reason, because the hard times are there to mold you, to push you, to challenge you, to say, this isn't it. Pivot. So if you're sitting in a place where you have lost your job, or you have just left a relationship, or you've lost all your friends, or you haven't got any money, I'm just going to ask you just now, just for this moment, instead of thinking, what isn't working and what can't I do now I don't have these things, I'm just going to ask you one little question. I'm just going to plant the little seed. What can you do now? If you've lost your job, you can now go for a walk on a Monday morning. You don't have to go to work. That's just one little thing you can do. And just that shift in perspective from what you can't do to what you can do is super powerful. You can't have the breakthrough, the level up, the next step without going through a little bit of preparation. Call it boot camp, if you will, the boot camp of life. Ultimately, hard times are a part of life. They cannot be avoided, but they do not last forever. They do not last forever. This is not here to last forever. And actually, apart from illness, which is out of your control a lot of the time, a lot of people would argue against that, but that's a conversation for another day. A lot of it is up to you how long it lasts. It's up to you. It's up to you how long you want to sit in something before you make a change. And Spirit's sort of saying to me now, and they've been saying it to me actually since I decided I was going to do this video, is pick your hard. Pick your hard. It's either hard now because you're choosing to challenge, like you're choosing to do something about it and take this opportunity and make it, because there's different types of hard, isn't there? There's hard when you're learning something new, like, oh, this is hard, I'm trying to grasp this skill. And then there's hard because you're choosing to stay in something that feels bad. So I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're going through, but I do know you have the power to shift your perspective on it. I do. I know that for a fact. I know you have the power to shift the way you feel about it, the way you look at it. I know you have the power to look at it and see the blessing in it, even if you have to look really hard, if you have to get out your metaphorical little, what's the word? Looking glass and really like zoom in. There's something there. There's a blessing in there somewhere. And I know you have the power to see it. So ultimately, hard times are a part of life. They cannot be avoided, but they do not last forever. If life was good all the time, you would not appreciate it. It is part of life to go through challenges. But it's also part of life to not stay there. Good follows bad. Challenges follow up-leveling, ebb and flow. Shift your perspective, because you have the power to do that. So again, this is a really short one actually today. But I just wanted to speak a word into someone who's having a hard time, because I'm having a hard time, believe it or not. You know, like I said, I've gone through a breakup. I'm back at my mum's house. I'm trying to build my career and juggle motherhood. Like, it's hard. It is hard. There are days when I think I cannot do this. I cannot do this. But I shift my perspective and say, because the universe, spirit, they wouldn't have given me this life, this challenge, this obstacle, if they thought I couldn't handle it. And I have a firm belief that anything you see in your mind, whether that be your dream body, your dream health, your dream home, your dream relationship, whatever, you see it because it's yours. And I'm going to get it. Who am I not to? So I could sit and worries me, and sometimes I do, but I don't stay there. I do not stay there. And I dip in and out, and some days are really difficult, but I do not stay there. I choose to pivot and shift my perspective, because I know that hard times are sent to try me, but not to flatten and destroy me. So I hope that's been able to help. If it has, please leave down your key takeaways in the comments. I'd love to hear. And sending you all the love. You can do it. You can. No matter how many times you fall, you might fall 500 times. You can still get up again. Even if you're scrambling and clawing, you can do it. And yeah, that's it. Subscribe if you haven't already to join our lovely community. Please let me know what other healing diaries you'd like me to chat about. Obviously I do psychic readings on this channel as well, so subscribe if you haven't already if you'd like to see those. Hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal private reading with me, I do offer those, and I'll leave the link for all of that down in the description or the comments below. And thank you so much for being with me. I hope you've enjoyed the healing diaries today, and I will see you next time for another one. Thank you so much. Bye.